I saw people in the comments of the trial was like they don't understand how anybody would, date this man. Remember, he got with Aisha when she was like 18 or 19. She was very young, maybe naive. He is with Andrea because obviously she look, she's not all there or whatever. But she probably able to keep a very good job. She may have good credit and stuff like that. And then she looks like somebody who just so happy just to have a man. So she's not going to do anything that's going to jeopardize her not having a man. That's why she's with him for 6 years and she was still a girlfriend, maybe a friend. Not really, don't really know what she is. So she's not going to jeopardize that. So men like that, when they usually, certain men, when they have, bad intentions, when they are not good people, they know exactly the type of women to choose. Somebody that's not going to bother them, somebody that they can manipulate, somebody that they can intimidate to don't ask them questions. He's not going to pick somebody who's going to, be going through his stuff and things like that or question him when he says certain things. He knows exactly the type of woman to choose because he has seems to have very ulterior motives, like evil motives. So she saw the little girl out the window, didn't say anything. He left. He said everything gonna be whatever. She said she couldn't call Aisha because she didn't have a number. I think she called somebody. I don't know who it is, but the way she was saying that she was uneasy, she called somebody. And when she was testifying, oh boy, he was looking straight up, boy, for that. He was looking straight up. Certain testimonies, he was looking straight up. But when the prosecutor was saying the timeline, he was fidgeting and then acting like he was looking at some type of binder in front of him, looking at it when she was saying the timeline, because that made him uneasy. So you have to, and it's the grandma for me. When he came to pick up, she already knew he was picking up the little boy. She didn't know nothing about Breasia going or whatever. So she getting the little boy ready, which who's his son, and then because Breasia and the little boy was so close because they were like 2 years apart, so they always together. So the little boy was like, Breasia, let's go. And then the grandma was like, no, she's not going because your mom didn't say that she was going to go. It's only you. And then the little boy insisted. And she's like, no. And then they was like, call the mom. And then she's like, she's not going to call the mom because she didn't like to bother the mother when she was at work. And so the little boy say, let's go, Breasia. And Breasia left. The grandma, I don't know what the grandma said. No, the grandma was like, oh well, okay, y'all could go, whatever. Nobody stopped. Even though they had asked if the other, because there was another child, the older brother, if he could go. And then Henry was like, oh no, he can't go because there's no space for him in the Camaro. So there, the two kids go off, not knowing evil lies ahead. And then even okay, when the Aisha eventually called her mother, she told her, you know what, Breasia and the little boy went off with Henry. And then the mom was like, oh, okay. Even though I've heard testimony that, when she was dating the guy, supposedly, he started acting off and then she started finding stuff out about him. That's why she, stopped dating him. But I'm wondering, okay, if she did she forget? That's how she felt about him. That's why she left him. Did she forget about this? Or that wasn't important? That you let your child go with this man. This man, he was not the father of this little girl. He never spent time. He never spent time with his own child. Not even talking about Breasia. Never even spent time with his own child because when she was over there at the house, the little boy at a point in time was in the front playing video games by himself, Andrea, Breasia, and Henry was in the room. Eventually, the little boy came in the room, but he's supposed to be spending time with his son. With his son. And then if you're gonna take them in the middle of the night, why not take your son also? And then he left his phone. He left his phone because I think he's watched enough. Because when people do ready to do look like seems like when they're gonna do some bad stuff, they be really on top of, trials, what's going on. So he knew not to take his phone so that phone wouldn't ping off certain cell towers. So he left his phone at home. That's when Andrea discovered he didn't even have a phone with him. And she was like, from the 6 years that they were together, his phone is always with him. So that was weird. And it's when the police, that same police guy who's talking to Henry and the mom and whatever, when he went to go speak to Andrea, and then she knew she woke up like 3 o'clock in the morning. When the police said, when did you wake up, whatever, when did you go to sleep, she went to sleep around 11, 12. When was the last time she saw the little girl? Was around 11, 12 when she went to sleep. She never told the police. She never ever told the police that she woke up 3 a.m. in the morning and she saw that he was leaving. She never said that. She's still trying to protect the guy. And then when the police asked if he could come in to see if he could locate her, oh, did you ask him? Ma'am, somebody's child is missing. And that's what you're doing. But of course, she didn't have any children. She don't care. Then she came up with the excuse, oh, my house is not clean or something. It's in a mess. Something's like a mess. When she testified on the stand that she's a clean freak. That's what she said. And a lot of stuff, because what people don't realize, when the police question you, they write down, record or whatever what you're saying, and then they transcribe it into written letters. And the prosecutor and the defense, they actually read that what you said, and then no matter when the trial comes along, whether it's a year, 2, 3 years later, they're gonna ask you questions on what you had previously said. And then I don't know if because he intimidated her in a way or whatever it was, certain stuff she didn't remember, she didn't recall or whatever. It was disgusting. It was very disgusting to see people. It was like people cared. People didn't seem to show care for this little girl. It didn't look like that. It didn't look like that at all. And supposedly, he had said to some type of inmate they'll never find the little girl. Eventually they found her under some branches, and she was just bones. But I think she had hair. I think there was the hair because when the fishermen found her, they kind of thought to themselves, this has to be a black person because of the dread. She had dreads in her hair. So that was, I guess, one of the factors that kind of made it obvious that it, probably may have been her until they did the DNA testing. And then it was a guy who, I think the July 10th, that's when Henry Dickens, whatever his name is, I don't care, got stuck. His car got stuck, and then the guy helped him get out of the mud or whatever. His car was stuck some way somehow, but he couldn't get the car out. So the guy helped him out, and he was trying to pay him. He was trying to pay him money for helping him out. And then when his friend had this, when they had discovered the body, then the friend was telling him, they discovered the body because probably the friend remember he was telling him a story about helping this guy. And then the guy went to the police and gave them his statement, and then they was able to ping his phone in the same direction. I think it was not too far from where they found the little girl's body. That's one of the few people that actually looked like they did something, but the guy ended up dying in July 2023 from a heart attack. So he was no longer here, so he couldn't give his actual testimony, but they still had his deposition when he spoke to the police. And then when the little boy, the little brother, he was that when he the dad took him to go to Walmart, and dad took out the phone out took out the battery out of the phone, and the little boy, his son, put the battery back so he could play a game, and they was able to ping him, near the Walmart buying bleach. So many people failed this little girl. This is such a start. I mean, I was so upset when listening to the testimony and different things that happened. It's just sickening. It's just sickening. It's sick. And I'm a single mother, and I've made mistakes. I've made mistakes. My mistakes wasn't deadly. I've made mistakes that could have been deadly to my kids. But sometimes the things that save me is because I'm able to take advice, able to take it no matter how harsh it is. There are some people that were placed in my life. They didn't play. They keep their foot on my neck, say, "Don't you better raise these kids right. Anything happened to these kids, you better know that I'm coming after you." I had people like that in my life. And a lot of what I've seen, a lot of parents these days, they don't take advice. You try to help them in the most simplest ways. Do this. Some people, I know some people, they try to talk to people, certain parents, like they dumb or they don't know. It's condescending way. But there are some people that actually want to help you, want to see you do better. But a lot of people just don't take advice. They think they know everything, and that's where a lot of people go wrong. That's why a lot of people will go wrong, and then the kids end up paying, and people don't realize these children are truly innocent, and their innocent attract demonic evil spirits that want to take away that innocence from this world. And that's why these kids need to be protected, but people don't understand that. People don't understand that because you know of media and different people make us see children as burden, as a as something that you have to spend money off. They take all your time. They're stressful. We don't see kids as a blessing. That's why people don't protect children the way they're supposed to protect them. That's why. We're gonna see. I think that's the gist of what I have learned, what I've learned from this case. And it's just sad. It's just sad what happened to this little girl. And it shouldn't happened because there was, even though, this guy decided to do whatever he wanted to do, there was things put in place. There was places that people could have said no, but nobody did anything. And it's so unfortunate. It's very unfortunate. People could have called, even though, when she saw the little girl, because from three, whatever happened between 3:30 to 7 a.m., because 7 a.m. I think that's when he came to pick up the little boy. So from 3:30 to 7 a.m., that's what happened to this little girl. So had the grandma just say, "No, you ain't going nowhere, sit your behind down," she wouldn't have even been there in the first place. But okay, she went already. And then the mom didn't say anything, because the mom could have go, "Hi, why is you going with Henry? That's not your dad." She could have go pick up her daughter. She didn't do that. And then when the girlfriend saw the little girl at 3:30 in the morning going out with this man who's not her father, had she called somebody that would have did something, then even though he may have whatever allegedly taken her life, but at least they would have got her actual body to see exactly what he did to her. Because by the time they found her, she was just bone. So you didn't. They only knew that she was shot because, I guess, when you got shot, when you get shot at, when somebody shoots you, it leaves signs. But they didn't really know if she was, sexual SAs. They didn't know. And it's so unfortunate. Anyway, I think that's all I had to say about this situation. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in another video. Bye.